Welcome to week 180 of my renovation on Iris Street. My name's Adam, and this week I finally get to apply the Danish oil to the fireplace mantle I've been working on for the past several weeks. With that project nearly complete, I spend the latter part of the week driving down to Texas with my sister and nieces to attempt to see the total solar eclipse of 2024. Wish us luck with the weather. I start this week off with hopes of being productive. Boxes with glued mitered edges aren't exactly the strongest joints in the world, so before I apply finishing oil to the fireplace mantle, I decide to drive a few 18 gauge nails through the sides and bottom. Back in the shop, I give the mantle a final round of sanding. After thoroughly wiping off the dust from sanding, it's time for the finishing oil at long last. In between coats of oil, I check on my seedlings. Since I've left them alone for a few days, good things have happened. So far, just my zucchini and squash are sprouting. It's been 15 minutes, so I wipe off the first coat of Danish oil and apply a second. I love how the finishing oil brings out the natural beauty of the wood, and I'm really pleased with how this mantle is coming together. On Saturday, I load up the family truckster with my sister and my nieces, Lila and Willow, to begin a ridiculously long drive down to Texas. We decided we'd try our chances at seeing the North American total solar eclipse of 2024. The path of totality runs from Mexico diagonally northeast into Maine. When planning an eclipse trip, you hope to pick a spot that will have clear skies, but apart from that, your location on the path also determines how many minutes of totality you'll experience. In Maine, for instance, you will only experience 3 minutes and 3 seconds of totality, but down in Texas, it'll be closer to 4 minutes and 24 seconds. As an avid space enthusiast, I'm a proud member of the Planetary Society, which happened to be hosting an eclipse camping festival in Fredericksburg, Texas, so we decided to try our luck down there. If the weather ends up being bad, at least we'll be surrounded by other space enthusiasts with lots of activities to do. After a whopping 8 hours in the car, Willow was more than happy to unwind in the hotel swimming pool. On Sunday, we finished the drive from Lubbock, Texas to the Eclipse Festival in Fredericksburg. There were a bunch of activities for kids in the activity tent, followed by a short orientation by Matt Kaplan. Matt hosted my favorite podcast, Planetary Radio, for the past 20 years, so for me, this was like meeting a celebrity. While working on my home renovation, I would listen to his weekly interviews of astronauts, space scientists, sci-fi authors, and rocket engineers, learning about planetary research and exciting upcoming space missions. Matt stepped down as the host of Planetary Radio in 2022, so it was really awesome to see him again, even if he did play us this super corny AI-generated song about the Eclipse Festival.
At Eclipse-O-Rama, our adventure's just begun. Cosmic camping beneath the night sky. A total eclipse, our sun goes bye-bye. Science and wonder, art and music too. A Texas-sized Eclipse-O-Rama view.
In the evening, we set up our campsite. There were multiple lodging options going all the way up to some pretty nice actual cabins, but we opted for peasant economy, which is a bring-your-own-tent situation. While we were setting up camp, the president of the Planetary Society arrived in this helicopter, which happens to be none other than Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill will be joining Matt on stage during the eclipse, as well as YouTuber The Everyday Astronaut, who runs a channel dedicated to bringing rocket launch videos to the public and breaking down the science of rocket engines for everyday people like us. If you haven't seen his channel, I highly recommend it for his straightforward and entertaining science journalism. In the evening, I grab a run through the festival campgrounds. Gotta close those circles. We round out the night by watching an episode of Carl Sagan's original Cosmos series in the mess tent, followed by some stargazing out on the lawn. Being at a festival with a few hundred space enthusiasts has its perks, the dozen telescopes they brought with them being one of them. On Monday, at long last, the main event is here, the total solar eclipse. And as you can see, we have clouds. Clouds as far as the eye can see. Tim and Matt are on stage telling us to cross our fingers and are reminding us that the weather can change at a moment's notice. As the morning wears on to afternoon, the moon slowly starts moving in front of the sun, something only safely observable with eclipse glasses or a solar camera filter. Finally, at 1:33 p.m., totality hits, and we can take off our eclipse glasses and look at the sun safely with our bare eyes. As you can see, we still have some clouds, but in a way, they made the eclipse memorable. The 360-degree sunset looked really beautiful with all of the clouds, and my shots of the sun's corona is rather unique when slightly obscured by clouds. It was fun experiencing the eclipse with a group of people, and there were a lot of oohs and ahs as everyone took in the views. At 1:37 and 30 seconds, the sun popped back out, requiring us to put back on our eclipse glasses. This was Lila and Willow's first eclipse, and although there were some clouds, I was glad they got to see most of it. We also got really lucky. No more than 10 minutes after totality, the clouds thickened to an intensity that would have completely blocked out the sun during totality, so although not perfect, we still got a decent experience. After the excitement of the day, we decide to get a head start on the journey home and pack up our tent to spend the night in Lubbock. Heavy rain greets us early on Monday as we head back to Brush. The rain would stay with us for most of the day until about halfway back to Colorado when we were greeted by these most spectacular cloud formations. That's a wrap for week 180. Thanks for tuning in, and until next week, start planning your 2026 solar eclipse trip. It'll be in Spain, and you can't beat the date, August 12th, my birthday.